charcuterie. On
The
both
grown-up Lunchables.
on both levels.
We love the
Everyone was
platters around here.
impressed.
It was
It was really amazing. Yeah. No, it was really. We're very grateful eternally.
Thank you. I'll let it go.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steven. Take care.
Okay. Can you move closer?
I can always move closer. Like this?
Yeah, and I think we need that to let me know if you're gonna sit up straight. Sorry, did that sound like a command? I did not mean it that way.
I am sitting up straight now. So do you need to
Correction.
move it down?
I am sitting up. What? Yeah, like just look where your head is in the screen. Are you holding pieces over your head? Because that would be rad. That'd be like really cool. What? What?
No, I'm gonna be like down more.
And I need to do some adjustments.
Is this one shareable now?
Yeah.
Chair.
Okay.
Also, if you shared the other one, maybe delete it.
I did not.
Okay. What am I doing? Ding, 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 ding. Everybody needs to stop yelling at me. Why was that funny?
Because I spent a long period of my life being told not to yell when I was never a yeller.
I was getting the all caps.
Oh. Then
Oh,
that's
from
fair.
somebody?
But yes, I can see in context that would have been pretty funny too.
Can you see
I like to be
yelling at
multi-layered
everybody?
in terms of my humor.
I get so quiet when I get angry. I don't get bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. So if you're watching us, it is we are live at
Wait though, just out of curiosity,
Mhm.
if they weren't watching us,
They would be able to hear what I'm saying.
right?
Right.
Okay, there we go.
I was just how would you say it? Like please share not if you're watching us because I guess
How
you
would I
be
say it? I
watching
say like this.
us. Share,
There's
we're gonna
only one thing
die.
keeping us open right now, and it's you clicking the share button on this link. Without that, there's nothing.
There you go. Without you, there's nothing. This is Rumble 512.
What's the fun?
512th time.
Is that
we've
funny?
been together.
I don't understand any of the jokes tonight.
I don't know.
Joke's on you. My name's not Rich.
All right. It's over here. And maybe I should actually get the wheel out tonight.
Or just get it out, yeah.
Just, right.
Whoa, is that correct? We got 18 shares?
I hope so.
That cannot be right. Are we using the wheel tonight?
I thought you said, yeah, I'm just going to put it.
I shared lots.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Did you share 18 times?
Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly.
I share like probably 16, 17, 18. Yeah.
So you're the only one that shared then?
So it's just,
Yeah. Well, I've been sharing like lots.
I'm just kidding. Shoot.
sorry. I'm making the wheel.
I'm making the wheel.
I acquired another group today, so now I have another group to share to.
You have a weird one. There's like one of your groups. I'm like, that's a funny group. And then I looked and you were the running of it. And I was like, that's a weird one.
Oh,
It was like guys with race cars. I'm like, what does Kelly know about being a guy? Like, I'm not saying it was a weird group. I was just like, how did Kelly get this group?
Kelly.
Men with boots or something like that. I'm like, come on, Kelly. Like, what is your weird group?
haunted. I have haunted houses, Calgary.
No, that was
Haunted houses?
that's
That's
not
not
weird.
that weird.
That's
It was
not
weirder
weird.
than that.
It was weirder.
That's the only one that's really weird.
Okay.
Okay.
I must have been in a funky mood then.
Yeah.
So first, thank you. Thanks, Leanne. Thanks, everybody. Okay. we are. Oh, there's Dusty's here in the backstage, and Mr. McGregor's here. Okay, I'm going to start with the land acknowledgement. The Creator gifted us with this land that we are blessed to share and care for together. We acknowledge that the land we gather on, Mokinstis, is the ancestral territory of the Siksika, Sitiki, the Siksika, the Kainai, the Pikani, and Amskapi Pikani. We acknowledge all the Treaty 7 signatories, including the Tsutena people, as well as the Ayarhe Nakota nations, Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Wesley. This land is also home of Métis Nation Region 3 and all others who call this place home. So, spin the wheel. And first comes from Tarantula by Bob Dylan. Sorry for not writing sooner. Had to have some teeth pulled. Finally read The Great Glaspie. Hell of a book. Just a hell of one. That cat sure tells it like it is. Not much happening around here. Chucky tried to get the donkey to jump a fence. You can guess what happened there. Sis got married to a real dog. I punched him out right away. That's all for now. See you on Thanksgiving. Corky. It's a pretty good letter. Letters from Corky. The second piece of inspiration comes to us from Shel Silverstein.
Everybody hates you guys today or something?
No, thanks for bringing the positivity. Here on the topic, Land of Happy. Have you been to the Land of Happy where everyone's happy all day? Where they joke and they sing of the happiest things and everyone's jolly and gay? There's no one unhappy and happy. There's laughter and smiles galore. I've been to the Land of Happy. What a bore.
What a bore.
I don't know, I think it would be pretty nice after.
Yeah, I'd go hang out there for a bit.
So we got a letter to Corky. We got Land of the Happy.
No.
And I didn't toast it all the way. So it's kind of like a frozen cheese sandwich. And then I just felt like throwing up after. I don't know.
I cooked like that for 20 years.
Okay, third piece of inspiration.
Every meal I had, frozen on the inside, burning on the outside.
Usually I'm not like, I just didn't want it burnt. Because it was in the
There-
freezer.
Third
So I
piece.
was trying to like get it right in between. Sorry.
That's okay.
A grilled.
We could put on a
Outfit.
show right now. Do you want to put on a show right now?
We are. This is what we do.
Practice.
Yeah. this is it.
We'll do Lord of the Rings Part 4.
Oh, Theo's here. Not physically, but
Mentally he is.
Mentally,
Because the computer's a brain box.
exactly.
The phone is a brain box.
Exactly.
When Rich types me, I can hear his voice in my head.
See? Exactly.
Because you
Okay.
love me.
Last piece of inspiration comes to us from Andrea Gibson. Fight for love. Maybe you suggested something unthinkable, like perhaps I should get my dog groomed after she rolled in the poo of a sick horse. And I naturally concluded you were the absolute worst for thinking I should subject an angel to the horror of being bathed by a blade-toting stranger. Maybe it was when you were editing my book and you said something elitist like, you can't end every poem by repeating the last line, or you can't have the word moon or firefly in every piece you write. And I screamed something like, I'd rather have a sky without a moon in it than a poem without a moon in it, you uppity thesaurus addicted snow globe full of dandruff. Maybe it was the poly argument, your face going fire engine red the second I mentioned an old flame. Maybe I decided you didn't want history to exist, which meant you wanted me to be magic. A virgin rabbit pulled out of your pretty hat, or a lady cut in half. Maybe it was when you said, like, 6 times in a single sentence, and I freaked out about our age difference, and you said I couldn't argue for my own time-earned wisdom while throwing a 3-year-old's tantrum. Good point. Maybe it was one of the times I got so mad I defriended you on Facebook, and you got so mad about that I decided you were the shallow end of the baby pool. Maybe you peed in the water to prove me right. Maybe it was the night at the right bar when the table of men invited you to sit with them. Maybe it was when you didn't notice their eyes drooling down your breasts, thought Celine Dion on the karaoke machine was just bringing them to tears. Maybe it was when you suggested the bar was queer friendly because someone asked if I was Tegan and Sarah. Maybe it was one of those nights when I was two people, neither of them the real me, just caricatures of my worst possible qualities. Maybe it was when we decided to start a podcast discussing all of our arguments, then got into an argument during the first 5 minutes of recording and canceled the show. But at some point it hit me. You and I are always going to fight for love. I'm always going to drag my heart into the ring to call you the knockout I've been waiting for my whole life. You are always going to trigger me into rifling through my history until every ghost is hunted out. Every fight we have ever had has been an opportunity to unbruise the past. What hurt would we still be hoarding in our garage had we never fought about our inability to park a car because the GPS stops telling you what to do when you pull into a driveway? Please run over the mailbox if that keeps me looking for new ways to send my best self to you. I am so in love with who we are, who we have been fighting to become together. I can't believe I finally adore a human as much as I adore my dog.
That's
Even
like the whole book.
when I'm in the doghouse, I know you love me so much. Thank you for saying there's no need to open our relationship because being with me is already like being with 50 impossible people. Thank you for accepting my friend request for the 5th time this year. Thank you for screaming all the way home from that straight bar to the bed where our bodies made up, while the moon flew through the window and a firefly poured into the room and landed in your hand, which you opened like a ring box and asked me to marry you. And we were so new I blushed instead of answered. But a firefly is forever, and you know what my answer is. A firefly is forever, and you know what my answer is.
Oh my god.
That was good.
My ADHD is kicking in so hard.
I couldn't tell it all.
I'm
You
like-
could tell I teach grade 7
I know,
English
I'm
because
like
I just
super-
kept reading.
I'm like super illiterate, so anytime I hear hearing or reading, my mom just goes like, I want to kill myself. Die.
You should come just like 15
I was
minutes
gonna
after
say,
7,
yes, come after.
and then you wouldn't even have to hear me read anything.
Whatever.
Whatever. Okay. Our inspiration.
I'm
Bob
like
Dylan.
sitting here watching Jess, like there's a vein in her head that starts to come out when people are talking when she's reading. I'm like, she's gonna tear your skin off any second.
Die.
My skin?
It might be
Maybe.
the best experience of your life.
She's never gone mad. This one's not mad. That one's never got mad.
I will anticipate her getting mad and save everybody.
I think they would each do a team up and then just like double kick me in the nards.
No, that's not our approach. It'd be much.
They just
No
shouted me
physical contact,
shouted me
just
like
the way
white
you feel.
oppressors.
You know who
like,
caught
I
it
feel-
first was
I
Mike
make you feel
Darce.
No.
Remember
Not
what
that
was
either.
Mike's last name? From Gorilla.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He was in a loop one night, and I was trying to talk some sense into him.
Or just go home.
I'm
And
not-
we went round like
No,
2 or
he's
3
telling-
times, and then Jess's beautiful face split wide open, and a dragon flew out, put fire right around the room, tore Mike's head off, shit in it, put it back on. Sorry about my language. And then everybody's like, "What just happened?" I'm like, "Don't poke the bear." And it's
You
funny.
don't want to do that in front of people. That's not nice.
No, I have to do it in front of people before she does, because when she does it, it's brutal.
People
That's not
die
very
when
nice,
I
Jess.
Well, maybe.
Next week, you're
After
running the Rumble,
you have
and
to
you have
match
to read a
people's
paragraph
energy.
online.
Or
Don't think I don't know that's
surpass
your
the
worst
people's energy
nightmare.
because you just want to go home because it's like 11 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Okay, don't poke the bear.
Oh no, I was talking about that instance.
Okay.
Yeah, I not so nicely told people it was time to go home.
Yeah.
Rub it up.
You can't
Let's
tell
go.
me that you can't tell me to do nothing.
Everything's good.
I haven't done anything wrong. I'll call the cops on you guys.
I love you.
Like officer there. Oh, I can't see that. You're recording.
Okay.
Anyways.
So we're making
Are you
art.
making art tonight? Are you making art tonight?
Yeah, I have these stupid shoes I gotta work on.
Let's see.
I'm
see
really
your
pissed
stupid
off
shoes.
about them.
I wonder if like the audience at home just hears our voices and wonders why we're being so random.
They're probably like,
No, you can hear what's happening,
Okay.
which is my greatest fear when I'm in that room talking
Right.
privately to people. I'm like whispering.
Very
yes,
nice.
my buddies. They're not my shoes.
Yeah.
But I gotta tape it, and then he wants like
I get it.
New York on one side, LA on the other.
Right.
But like, I'm like, what the hell do I use when I only have markers and dollar store
Paint
right
markers for that.
I'm just
You
gonna
can
try
kind of get away
black
with
and
Sharpies with that.
now?
What?
I'm gonna try black and white.
Yeah.
See how that goes.
You can use acrylic paints too.
If not,
They'll be hot though.
I just don't like the project idea.
Is he gonna? Yeah. Is he gonna wear them? Or are they for show?
Yeah, he's like, oh, if he could finish them by Thursday before I go to Amsterdam. I'm like,
I have a question for you. And Kelly's online here. And Kelly caught shit for this because I was in a bad mood. But there was an opportunity for you to paint I think 30-foot trailer for $1,000. Would you have done that?
yeah, I would have.
I thought it was a $10,000 job minimum.
Lately, I can't do much.
Yeah.
Because of
Well, 30-foot, like a plastic wrap would have cost 10 grand, and a plastic wrap should be cheaper than an artist.
would I have done it for 1,000?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, next time I'll
No,
pass
but
her through.
I can't use spray paint anymore.
Well, then if you can't, the answer's no. But like,
Yeah.
you're not going to Sharpie
If
it.
you want artists to do that, I can give you links to them.
It wasn't for me. She wanted to help out. I was offended. I thought $1,000 was too little. Not by Kelly. Kelly, we love you. Where are you?
And see how big it is again.
2 sides, 30 feet by 10 feet.
Right.
I think it should cost more for an artist than a
Well, yeah,
plastic
if you
wrap.
can get it, but just art's kind of like you take what you can get.
Welcome to the Rumble House, where we never complain. Thank
That's
you.
art in general, though. You can't.
No, you're
Like,
speaking
you
to
have
the.
you have the choice to not sell your work, or you have the choice to sell it for whatever.
My thoughts are that it's worth whatever somebody wants to pay for it.
If you want 10,000 for a piece, then don't sell it until you get 10,000.
I'm with you.
Right? That's the only.
Chances are you might get like that 10,000 for a piece every 10 years, but you can also get 1,000 for a piece once a month, and you can also get 100 for a piece almost every day. So like the trick is that you either do more and sell more, or you wait for it to sell for more. But it all works out.
You need rich clientele,
right?
Yeah.
Because if I've got $1,000 in my pocket and you ask me for some cash, I might give you 100. But if I've got $100 in my pocket and you ask for some cash, I might give you 10.
Because it's not.
And if I got $10 in my pocket, I might give you 1. So you got to just surround yourself by rich friends if that's your ambition. But
no, that's if you want to like make. I don't know what the answer is, man.
I don't think we're disagreeing.
No, I know.
Hey,
It's not
what's
who
the
you
themes?
know. It's not what you know. It's who you know.
Yeah.
A poem by Bob Dylan.
Right.
It was kind of like a letter from Corky.
I have a painting for that already.
Yeah, perfect. Second one was Shel Silverstein, The Land of Happy,
Mhm.
which we're existing in. And
Yeah.
the third one was Fighting for Love, which was kind of a summation of our last week. So I would say Corky, Happy, Love.
Us, yeah. Can you pass me that?
Yeah. Which
Paintbrush.
Happy? No.
There
Do you want-
sure could be.
There sure could be.
Enjoy that. I would enjoy that.
Like,
Sure.
I will double your salary if you
There-
make coffee.
Sold.
There's so it's kind of awkward because the thing's back there, but the coffee filters are in the fridge, and then the coffee is like in the jar to the side,
And
and
the water's out here. I know.
then I think the cups are even clean.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yeah, time went super fast tonight. It was like 7:00 before.
I'm just learning. This might sound stupid. I'm just learning how to TikTok. So if you want to be my TikTok friend, please find me at Rich Teru without the E.
I was talking to the girls in grade 9 at school
About TikTok.
and asking because you were talking about like, do people talk like this all the time? It's kind of mean-hearted.
Right.
And they were like, no, they just like talk like that, and it's like meant as a joke. I'm like, oh, so it's endearing? They're like, yeah, that actually is like just how they talk, and it's like an endearing, like good ribbing. And I'm like, that's really weird. And explains a lot of how you guys talk to each other. Right?
Mm-hmm. I remember there was a guy who came in here one time and he was just being provocative. and wanted to have like a internet debate about something. And I remember his go-to response was, "You want to internet debate me?" He might have said troll. It might have been the first time I heard. He wasn't talking to me, by the way. But he was boasting that he grew up having troll fights on the internet, that he was of the generation that thrived off of troll fights on the internet, and that he was going to destroy everybody that disagreed with him because that was his superpower, internet troll fighting. And this is about 10 years ago. So he must have been a real early innovator in terms of like troll fighting on the internet.
Why would you want that to be your thing?
I just thought it was a funny thing to like, do you know who I am? I am the original internet troll. It's like, how about it?
You can keep that title.
My first year teaching junior high exclusively, I met these three girls that were just monsters. And right away, I remembered hearing people like, "Oh, you're going to be like that with me? Then I'll be like that right back to you." I was like, there's no way I can compete with this meanness. And I just said straight up, like, I don't even want to be as mean as you. Like, we're not gonna compete for mean.
Yeah, like why would you even want that?
I would never want to be like this. And it's like, you win straight up, hands down. You're the meanest. I had this really nice phone call right before the event asking if it was family friendly. I'm like, yeah, of course it's family friendly. And then they were to clarify, their question was there nude or explicit works? And I was like, sometimes it hadn't. Sorry. And then I panicked and called them back because I wanted to make sure that I didn't mislead them in any way. And then in that conversation, I realized I think I might have painted something semi-nude last week. And now I'm so self-conscious about what I'm painting that it's not provocative in any way. Isn't that funny? It's not a funny thing.
It's funny.
Yeah, you want one too?
She
No.
doesn't.
I'm okay, thank you.
She has a migraine and she's drinking tea.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
She's way too sweet to ask you for coffee, but I'm not. I'm dying for coffee. In fact, I'll have two. So let's say that she does.
Does coffee not help with the migraine?
I also just feel super depleted and I'm like thirsty.
Again, doesn't coffee help with super depleted?
It doesn't.
It makes me feel more dehydrated.
I'm not
I haven't
denying
been
her
drinking
coffee.
I
Lauren.
haven't been drinking coffee at all this week, actually. I've been coming home with my coffee containers full every day. What? I don't know what that is. What kind of illness is that?
I don't know. All week I'm like redefining like who I think you are. It's like, who is this person? It's kind of like the body snatchers tell you the truth.
Yeah.
When I said you weren't, by the way, I wasn't speaking for you. I was just flexing how much I knew.
Oh no, I was not offended. Yeah. I was like,
Um,
who knows me?
I was one of my kids today, who's kind of on the same wavelength as me in terms of the spectrum, was sitting next to two people that was helping him. And they were helping him so earnestly that when I started talking to him, because they started talking to each other, he started to say, "There's too many people talking." And I was just flexing as to how specifically linked our wavelengths are, that I join him sometimes when he's speaking and say what he says. Like I'll say it almost like in Who's on First, when Bud Abbott anticipates him saying exactly. It was like that, as I joined him to say there's too many people talking, but they had anticipated him saying there's too many people talking. And the two of them turned back to him instantly and said, "Excuse me, we're talking on our own," which was funny because it sounded like I was saying, like he and I had both said in unison, "There's too many people talking." And then they said in unison, "Excuse us, we're having a conversation." And then I had to explain to them that I wasn't correcting them so much as like just playing along with what he was going to say. And I felt really silly about it, but it was cute because I think they understood as well. There's like 4 people in the same, stuck in the same loop.
That's cute.
Oh. I did a series of not so heavy paintings this week. And I'm still in that kind of playful mood where I just don't want to have to think too hard.
I feel like life is so hard right now that it's like maybe it's okay that you don't have to think so hard right now.
Well, it's funny because I did a few really silly paintings, like non-essential paintings, like nothing about this painting needed to be made to save the world, which might be all of my paintings for all I know.
No, you save the world a lot.
But it's funny that how comfortable and free I felt not having to make rent. You know, like I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna paint what I feel like right now. And it's kind of been a while since I kind of let loose and played. Can you grab me a couple more paintbrushes? Cut loose and played a little bit more. And the only thing I have to say about that though is, if I'm just making kind of a joyful painting here right now. Ooh, is that my brush? Mm-hmm. That one looks really good. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Then it will be more of a responsibility for you to bang out something you can really sell tonight.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, so not coloring on my water bottle?
Sorry. Yeah, sell something really like
What's that?
life. No, I wasn't looking at what you're doing. I was completely enthralled with I'm really just painting a fun face right now with a really bright color.
That's really nice.
And,
Okay.
But then I was like, I will need you to.
Hurt.
I need water.
There's something here now.
I'll be right back. I need to get water then for the paints. Oh, there's some water in here.
It's so tiny.
I'm gonna buy this container. I'm gonna buy this container from
But I figured it out.
Aaron.
Ice and walking helps more than taking things. Well, I always did ice, but I didn't realize like the benefits of it.
Kelly, are you at home? Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you hear my scraping from my brush?
A little bit. It's okay.
Are we talking from over here?
Like, sort of.
Can you hear me talking from over here?
Are you talking about on the mic?
Yeah.
I can
Kelly,
hear him.
she says she can hear you.
Can you hear me talking from over here?
What you do is you count like down from 20 and she'll tell you what number she got to.
Can you hear me talking from over here?
It more depends on the ambient sound. So sometimes if there's more bodies in here, the sound gets absorbed before it gets here.
People to hear my personal conversations. I'm being serious.
No, it's valid. I remember you were asking me if we're poking fun at you not long ago. And I was like, dude, that was totally not us.
What if I said something inappropriate to somebody
About me?
that I don't want, like your feed to hear? You know
Don't
what I
say
mean?
that stuff.
I was gonna say, why don't you just keep
Well, what if the conversation between me and that person's inappropriate?
Don't say stuff like that.
But that's just life.
No.
You're just not supposed to record it in the background.
In a bit of a mood tonight, I see.
No. Can you do these shoes for me? I don't want to do them.
I'll do them in Dayglow colors.
Barely energy to draw.
I'm sorry. Normally, drawing is what I use when I don't have energy. Or write myself a poem. Why don't you write yourself a poem?
I used to do that a lot. I used to write lots of poetry and then I threw it all in the garbage.
I believe you used to be quite a star at poetry.
I don't know where you heard that.
From you.
Oh. They used to have a seal on it.
Yeah, that's not poetic.
Poetry's different.
No, the thing came off. Sorry.
There's a
I
warning.
didn't warn you.
There's a warning you're supposed to give her, and you didn't give it to her.
It was the thing that stops it from coming out is no longer on.
Are you getting fresh with me?
You guys are cute.
You have no idea how cute we are. Like, this is us on our least disgusting behavior. When we're by ourselves, we're like, make you want to throw up cute.
Well,
Want me to bring this to you, or do you want it to come to me?
Still at that stage.
We've been together for, I think, actually I added it up today. It might be more like 12 years than 10 years. We're friends for 12 years.
Most people don't last that long anymore.
Nobody said it was easy.
That's why I like that
Oh,
poem.
you're not supposed to say things like that.
He says it daily. It's true. It's true.
It's boring if it was easy.
It's not
Exactly.
boring.
That's what she's saying. It would
It's
be
not
boring,
boring.
if it would be easy.
Yeah.
I may have over melted the coffee. Right.
It's perfect. You're perfect.
What is wrong with this tape?
Is it my tape?
You know, sometimes when I open packages, I'm like, there's got to be an old person that probably almost died trying to open this.
Oh.
Like a jar of pickles.
You know when you peel your tape and it
And I'm
Tears?
Like, why do they make it so difficult?
to sell more tape?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but it like rip off an inch and it keeps going.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
That's why I freak out when the kids bounce the tape on the table. It's like, don't do that, because you end up like bashing the edge of the tape into itself, and that's why it tears every time. And that's why like the tape you used from your junk drawer for Christmas wrapping was always the worst for ripping, is because it spent the year in that junk drawer.
That's funny that you just said that because look.
I did that to you. That is me making full use of the force.
Do you think this dollar store tape is going to work for this project?
I don't know. If they're selling the high quality tape for $1, how do they make up their difference?
You know, if it wasn't for the dollar store, a lot of us would be like on the streets.
No hate towards the dollar
I have
store.
no hate towards the dollar store. My only concern is it kind of smells like the kind of stuff.
We would be on the streets because everything's so cheap there.
Yeah.
You didn't understand what I was throwing down there. You got the opposite of what I was saying.
How do you know?
Because
Boy. Oh boy.
There we go.
But if it's possible that I got you backwards, how do you know that you didn't get me double backwards?
well, maybe I should get you forward so that we'd be doing the tango.
What is happening?
What is happening?
I don't know. Like 10 minutes ago, I'm like, are you in a bit of a mood tonight?
I'm disappointed at the sandwich that I made for myself today.
I've heard
It
it
is
was
really sad.
subpar.
That is a sad feeling.
I keep forgetting that I'm allergic to eggs, and mayonnaise will set me off. Usually buy the vegan mayonnaise, but it's too expensive.
I'll throw a sandwich out if it has mayonnaise on it.
Really?
Yeah. And like sometimes if I take time to explain to the server that like one time I went into Dairy Queen and like this was the worst day. I went into Dairy Queen. It was the one in Kensington. I don't think it's there anymore. And the guy was standing at the till. But as I walked in, he walked across to the other side. So he was standing at take order here and he walked over to pick up order when I walked in. So I walked up to him at the till at the take order here. And then as he moved to the other side, I followed him to the other side, said, can I get a chicken sandwich with no mayo? And he goes, you got to order over there. I'm like, I was there. So I walked back there and I waited for him to come back. I'm like, can I get a chicken sandwich, no mayo? And he's like, yeah. And then so like there was something that happened with him going back and forth a few times. It wasn't that simple. But by the time I actually ordered the sandwich, I'd said chicken sandwich with no mayo like 5 times. And he kept screwing me around, like being on the wrong side and refusing to take my order, but putting himself where he couldn't take my order. So when I finally got the sandwich and it had mayo on it, I just freaking lost it. And so I took
You were angry.
the side of the bun that had the no mayo and the bun, and ate the chicken. And luckily there's a piece of like lettuce to keep the mayo off my chicken. But I peeled the lettuce off and I took the bun and I walked up to the first till and I just smacked it against the side of the till and I walked away with it like dripping down the side of the till. And I was so flipping angry. Karen, is that a Karen? Was that a
No,
was that-
that's
That's
a
it.
Rich.
It's a white guy.
That's a Chet.
Chet.
Chad stick mayo to tills?
No, that's valid to get mad over. Because you asked him not to.
5 times.
Yeah. So
And that's his only job.
yeah, like
Well, and that he doesn't know I might be allergic to mayo, right?
you
Like
should have said that, right?
I was just a finicky eater because I'm autistic, but he didn't know that. And also, like, it comes from baggage as a kid because when I was a kid, and this is awful. I shouldn't tell you this online. My mom took us to school in Marlborough. We lived in Canyon Meadows, but we drove all the way down Blackfoot Trail every morning before there was a Deerfoot to Marlborough every morning. And she'd pick up our lunches at McDonald's. I mean, some days she got us like corn chips from 7-Eleven. And I'd get a cold burger that I wouldn't know had ketchup on it until like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'd get to school and like, for some reason, when kids ask for no ketchup, they're just like, oh, it's just a kid. What do I care? And so almost always there would be ketchup on it anyways. I don't have
We don't
newspaper.
have
There's
any
some rolled up
newspaper.
paper rolls there. You can take a whole roll if you want.
Yeah, beside the 2 cupboard counters there.
Oh, these big ones?
Yeah. You can use that paper.
And take a whole roll of it home.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Treat it-
I
treat it like your
haven't had much
exercise.
energy lately.
Well, all you need to do is get a little bit of exercise.
Remember when I was scraping that record here for that canvas trying to fix it, and it was like, you're like, go outside and do that.
I think it was like you made a painting and it didn't sell. And then I bought it. And then did you ask me to draw on it?
No, not that one.
Okay. And then you took it home and you made it so good. And then you came back and said there was a scratch in it. Should I fix it? I said, no, leave it.
Flower.
Yeah.
Hey, Galen.
And then you decided to carve the so it wasn't the noise that bothered me, is that you were ruining the canvas because it was a good painting.
I was trying to smooth it out
Yeah. And then you ripped it.
because I had a different idea that I was going to work on.
When you went to ACAD, do you remember in the bathroom it used to say over one of the stalls, Billy's got zits and picking off scars?
What's that?
Billy's got zits and picking off scars.
Gross.
No, it's a metaphor for like making things worse when you're trying to make them better.
Hi, Galen.
I saw the worst movie.
Wandering in the first place.
Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah, you did that to yourself, my friend. That was totally avoidable.
And then I watched Chasing Amy after. I was like, okay, I've had enough of this.
I don't think you still could watch Chasing Amy.
So everyone smokes in there.
That's like the least of its problems.
I watched Singles this weekend. It was really good.
It held up.
It held up for me because it has Chris Cornell and Eddie Vedder before they were Chris Cornell and Eddie Vedder.
Oh my God,
Right.
just-
And it had Mother Love Bone spray painted on the wall. And
I had the
And
I
it
had the
was
soundtrack
so
of that.
good. Yes, I am. It was good. It was very good. And then I also watched Juno. And that was really good too.
Does that hold up?
There's a few bad words. I more went down a whole hole of how does Elliot Page feel about us watching Juno.
That's what I mean.
And there's not much about the movie in particular, but there was a lot about how Elliot Page felt during that time. So I don't have an answer if it's okay that I watched it and enjoyed it or not. It's a really good movie though.
Yeah.
You know why I come here on Wednesdays now?
Or to make noise.
No, because I can't
Because
get.
because no
You
negative
want an
attention
answer?
because negative attention is better than no attention at all.
Yes, I don't get motivated at home anymore.
Oh, that's really sweet.
That's
Thank you
really
for sharing.
sweet.
Like I feel I just want to sleep.
Last night I dreamt I was at a party with Jess's family and I had no pants on and I poop splatted on the floor and everybody saw and I was just trying to find my pants and everybody's trying to make me feel better about poop splatting on the floor and I was just so humiliated and I woke up and I couldn't go back to sleep and then Jess was asking me in the morning like, why are you so tired? I'm like, because I dreamt I poop splat and it was a grandmother that saw me poop splat on the floor in the dream and she wasn't at all rude about it, but it was like I could tell like
She's disappointed.
yeah.
Was it a grandmother that passed
Disappointment, grandma.
No,
What?
away? Was it a grandmother that passed away?
no, she's still with us.
She just had her birthday.
Maybe you need more fiber.
I think.
Yeah, it was
Or
really
less
splattery in my dream.
Really small.
Maybe you need bigger pants.
I tend to have reoccurring dreams about not having pants. Not having pants is a thing that happens in my dreams a lot.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm
My
often
clothes is always fully on in all my dreams.
It's kind of like you could redecorate your shoes.
I'm often on my way to the airport in Vancouver trying to get a plane back to Calgary soon enough to get back to a deadline like work or something. And it's always really important that I can get there in time, but I can't. And often I don't have pants on to top it all off. Like I'm trying to like scoot through the world and negotiate getting home, but I have no pants on.
I've had dreams like
Like
that.
just in your underwear or no bottoms on,
Nothing.
period.
Like if I pull my t-shirt down far enough, my penis isn't in the wind.
Yeah. I have dreams like that, and I'm trying to find clothes because people are staring at me.
Yeah, that's the dream I have almost every night.
No,
So you're not
always
comfortable
fully
with your
clothed.
sexuality like me.
Hmm.
That's what it means. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna shut up.
I'm actually pretty comfortable with my sexuality, but if I tell you that, then it looks like I'm not comfortable with my sexuality.
No, I can
But
tell
I
you
would
are,
say that
especially-
I'm almost comfortable with my sexuality to a fault.
I can tell you are because you're a wrestler.
And I also was going to make a t-shirt last week that said gay enough. And I
Yeah.
thought that'd be kind of neat, sort of supportive, like I'm not gay, but I'm gay enough. But then I thought maybe some people would think that I wasn't gay enough and I was being disrespectful. But it was actually inspired by that guy that got thrown out of the library trying to cause a problem. I was like, I'm straight, but I'm gay enough that we don't have to be friends,
Yeah.
you know? Or,
Wow, that makes no sense to you. What does that mean?
well, because I'm pretty supportive of people, but I don't have any, I really don't have very many tendencies.
Jess, does he have any tendencies? Sorry.
Well, I mean, I cuddle a lot. Like I'm very feminine.
Yeah.
She's the more masculine of us in the relationship.
It doesn't matter if you are or you aren't. How about that?
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, other than the one
We don't
weird
gotta
dream
talk
I had about
you coming
Galen,
out of the closet.
I said that
It's
to make
okay,
Galen
it's
feel
fine.
uncomfortable.
I can come up with you.
And so I did sort of feel like I wanted to provoke that guy a bit. That was like causing problems at the with
Was he a religious nut?
yeah.
Yeah, I got a problem with those guys real badly. I can just tell from people's posts on like social media if they're like religious, and I'm like, no, you shouldn't. I feel like when you shouldn't have posted that because it's like saying God's gonna come get you, and it's like, no, he's not.
So grab your stuff, son. Come to take you home.
So what's it like? I don't know what to do with these, man. Like in New York and LA on
Chelsea, can I ask for a favor?
Yes.
You can do it. We
Just
believe
because
in
I'm
you.
kind of pinned down.
Yes.
Is there any chance you could grab me like some paintbrush water?
Yes.
Well,
How's your
yeah.
coffee? Do you need a refill?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Jobs are important tonight. It's pretty slow.
Like New York with baseball.
You
or-
got to
Oh, I don't have a jar.
Oh, sorry.
like from scratch. You'll be $50.
He's like, he goes, I think, he's like, I'm
Just
thinking
one jar?
20, Gordy, I'm looking at him.
I should have brought pizza.
Wow.
Can I suppose
5
one
people.
more?
Just bent
Will you
over.
sit in?
Yeah.
See?
He's like, we'll do it for 60.
This year.
Okay.
Look, there's this.
Hammerhead.
The first one is.
I swore you said
This one's
100.
camouflage.
Yeah,
I
exposed
see
to
that.
Canada.
You know, they're-
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks
totally.
weird.
Yeah,
Hammerhead.
it's gonna put a
Thank you.
You're
thing in there, but
There's Pete, Jess.
welcome.
Good.
Good, yeah.
there,
Thank
see,
you.
This is a drawing of the one that I
Is there paper towels? I think there are lots of paper towels over there. In that drawer, there's a whole whack of them.
Yeah, where do you live?
Cedar Bray. Cedar Bray.
I know.
Cedar Bray.
Ah, holy fuck! Oh!
Celebrates Curtis, you know that. Right?
Yeah, it is. Same with Canyon Meadows.
What are you looking for?
Celebrates Curtis.
There's nothing more over here. I help you.
But it's right now.
That's because it's
No, it's weird area.
I like it. No.
Sorry
It's-
for
it was
cursing.
weird in the 80s, but you go there years later, it's weird.
Lindsay's the most first area.
Actually, I think it's Cedar Bray. I've seen it since the early 90s.
Durst, did you grow up in Haysboro, Queensland? How do you tell the difference?
One starts with
They're on the
Q and the
different
other
side
one
of
starts
No.
with A.
Haysboro. Oh, is that what it is? They're
Haysboro.
parallel, but
In different
Yeah, Haysboro is like
On Elbow.
on
Yeah,
Elbow.
it's further
And
west.
Queensland is by Fish Creek.
Further
East,
because
south,
you
and
grew up with the
further
Zerkas, didn't you?
The other way.
The which?
The Zerkas, one of them, anyways.
I'm not familiar with it.
Is that a circus?
No, they were some brothers, but they were like one of those families that had a brother in every grade.
Oh, I dated one of those families.
No,
One of
those,
those families.
I remember when Heathborough was out of town.
There was many brothers.
do you really?
Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Yeah.
Oh, because you used to come here with your cousin or something.
That was
I
really
used to come here with
The
my
only
parents.
reason I didn't date
Okay.
my sister is
My-
because she was much older.
Aunt was here. She
Right.
lived in, Chinook Park.
So yeah, my mom lived in the apartments across from Chinook Center, where kind of near where parallel to where Phil's is. That was her first apartment in Calgary,
It's a very
and
So like on Elbow or on
no,
Benmore?
in between McLeod
Yeah.
and Elbow.
Oh yeah, okay.
They're kind of like where you turn to go into the parking lot at
Phil's. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
just east of Phil's, right?
Yep.
There's the high rises.
Yep.
And why did I tell that story? Oh yeah, she used to say that when she moved to Calgary, Chinook was like kind of like the Cross Iron Mills, that like it was on the outside edge of. I mean, that's why the graveyard was there too, right? It's like
that's why they built it so
you drove out of town to bury the bodies, and on the way back, you know,
For Phil's.
Phil's
I
was
always
just
told to look for arms and legs when I went underneath the tunnel there by Stampede Park.
Did you say to
What?
look for arms and legs?
legs? Because it goes underneath the Chinese
Come on.
burial ground, right?
What the heck?
I don't think that story was related to being Chinese.
No, it's just
No,
it's the
But
the,
last
it's
week,
the-
last week I had commented that my dad went by the name Thru instead of Teru because he used to say, and I didn't actually until you commented on it, I didn't think of it as him being disrespectful in any way. But he used to say the reason he went by Thuru instead of Teru was that he thought that when he said Ray Teru, it sounded Chinese. And then so I repeated that last week. And then when Jess looked at me funny, I was like, did that come off as, I hope, not disrespectful in any way, as much as that was my dad's understanding of the language. I think that.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be disrespectful. It was
No, I'm saying that I hear you, and I don't think you're
a lot
meaning
of
to be.
people were creeped out by the fact that they dug a tunnel underneath.
yeah.
All the,
It was called the Chinese graveyard. Is that what it's
there's a
called?
Chinese graveyard
Yeah.
on one
On
side.
the one side, on the
and
west
there's,
side.
How shameful is
there's
that they had a
there's
separate
really
graveyard
old-
for white
someone
people?
called graveyard on the other side, but my aunt's on the other side, so
that area is cursed. Like you can't live next to a graveyard and not expect the bodies to float up like poltergeist.
Or like beat you up when you're sleeping.
I lived in a pretty accursed place. I lived in the. Should I tell this story? I don't think I should.
I think you have.
Did I? Teacher's Terrace?
Yeah.
And the Beltline rapist?
Yeah.
Yeah. Online, I told that story.
Whoa, what the hell?
Maybe just to, I don't know.
I think it was
a
something I
story
told
that
you
lives in
guys.
My brain. I've heard it
It's more
before.
of a offline thing.
Yeah. I lived in the apartment building where they captured the Beltline rapist.
Really?
And I moved out of that building, even though I don't believe in ghosts, because it was friggin' haunted. And then I followed his news story just because it kept popping up sort of on the news and I was following it. And he had said as his excuse that a ghost made him do it, which is crap. But like to some extent, I'd moved out and I broke my lease there, even though I don't believe in ghosts, to get out of that situation because it was maddening.
You do believe in ghosts, you just don't want them to bother you. So if you
I
don't
mean,
want
I don't believe in ghosts, but I hold my breath when I'm a block away
Yeah,
from
so
that
if
building.
you don't want them- If you don't want that
How
stuff
do
to
you
bother
not
you,
believe in ghosts?
you have to say you're not welcome.
I don't think I believe in ghosts.
I especially don't believe in people that tell me
I
ghost
don't know what
stories.
they are, but I believe in them.
Well, they're definitely weird.
Oh yeah, I've had too much stuff happen not to believe in them.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
I used to teach in the school that was so haunted.
We apparently lived in haunted houses, but we also did really silly things like play with Ouija boards.
I don't talk about it. Just kidding. There's two reasons why you don't play with Ouija boards. There are two reasons.
Yeah,
Reason
so-
number one, they probably don't work.
Don't
Reason
bother
number
me.
two, what if they work?
No, we used to go to the cemetery and play with it.
Yeah, but like
On a
why?
full moon.
But why?
Because we did all sorts of.
Did you
crazy
think
stuff.
that you were opening gateways to hell?
We really kind of hoped so? I think.
I don't
We
think so.
watched a lot of scary
I think the
movies
only
when we were
reason
very
people do
young.
that is
We
because
did
they're absolutely sure that they're
at recess.
seances with candles around the table.
Yeah, but again, I'm sure the reason people do that is because they don't think anything's going to happen. And then when the window splits open and Godzilla steps out, and you're like, "Oh, I did this to myself,"
And
like
they just go, I didn't mean it. I'm
that's
so
not how it would work.
That's not how it works.
Please go back.
Please.
You can't take it back.
Well, I was an alcoholic for a really long time. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe I was possessed
Is there a bigger
by a
question?
demon.
Bigger, yeah.
I love you getting my brushes. I think we should set like this all the time.
It's not supposed to be. It's not
It's perfect.
Like a movie, it's
That's
pretty sad
broken.
stuff.
Look,
This is perfect.
that's good.
Is this your brush?
No, it's
These are the ones I like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's all in here. Look at all these things you haven't used.
I have a ton of stuff I haven't used. Please lean on me while I'm painting
One
straight
together
lines.
and it'd be a 5 degree difference. I even use a thermometer to measure it.
Otherwise, how else will I grow?
Watch, he can paint a straight line even when Jesse is going.
No, you can see right there
Stop
Yes.
it.
where you touched
Don't
me, and
believe
people
in
for all
that.
of history will look back and say that's where
I
Jess
leave
thought Rich
here
would
and
be.
I drive alone, and I live there alone. I'm not interested in your
You don't have to
story.
be scared of ghosts. You just have to know how to deal with them.
I don't
I
think that's
actually
true either, Galen, because I think if it was true,
Huh?
if it was true that you know how to deal with some ghosts, right? If that was true, and I'm not saying it is or isn't, I'm just saying, provided that is truth on its own, that is nothing to say that you can deal with all ghosts the same way, any more than you can deal with all pit bulls the same way, right? So,
People.
so you can say I've had experience dealing with a ghost, and now I know, but like you don't know what the next one's going to be like, and I still won't believe in them.
Oh, yeah,
So this is a
right.
ridiculous conversation, but what I'm saying is that you don't know for sure that the next one's not going to have teeth
Don't exist.
and an appendage for penetration or something. You know, like you just don't know what's coming until it comes.
Well,
Don't know.
if you get into meditation, you have to deal with those things eventually.
That's what they say about yoga. Actually, is the reason you're supposed to go to a yogi is he's going to stop you from opening passageways to stuff you don't want to deal with.
Really?
Well, he can direct.
Yeah.
you, He can't stop it.
It kind of makes sense too, though, right? When you think about it, you know, all these people in spandex acting like they know what they're. I probably just lost viewers.
Those people in spandex.
All the hot ladies in spandex. anyways.
All the pretty ladies, all the pretty ladies, all the pretty ladies. I did say in my book, yoga is for my ass.
And it
How
works
did you
both
do
ways
yoga
there.
Before spandex was invented?
My mom did yoga. She did it in leotards.
Big
Hi.
pants, actually.
I think they used to wear really.
We're just going to
loose clothing.
apologize in general for our conversations.
All those yoga guy out there.
Yogi.
Where am I going to live?
The apartment building across the
There's a good place
street
on Elbow Drive.
has
You wanna
one-room
pass that.
apartments for
Across the
$1,900.
street from here?
The brand new one-room apartments for $1,900 per month.
No.
Holy.
No.
I have way too many people for that,
Is that
and
include cleaning?
way not a big enough budget for that.
No,
There's
but you
not-
know what? There's a service down over there.
there is quite a few
The Seagull
townhouses in Killarney right now.
Place is so sketchy.
In Killarney? Nice.
Yeah, moved
That
to
is
Killarney
nice.
Glen Court.
That's where they all are.
I know.
They're expensive. Well, they're not expensive. They're within my budget, but they're. It's not that far, right?
I'd
It's not
probably
that
move
far.
back to Killarney Glen Court if I
Okay,
moved out of the
here's a
core.
Serious question. I have an 18-year-old who will not drive, so needs to take public transportation, and is used to living in the country where they are super safe. Is Killarney a safe space for them to be?
Yeah,
taking
and you
public
know what else?
transit on
That
their own?
Westbrook train station's like going to Europe.
It's a really big, nice one, right?
It's underground and it's like going into a cathedral. It really is the most beautiful city building in the city.
So realistically, Killarney is safer than being downtown.
Yes,
I was gonna say
absolutely.
Mantha, but I just remember what happened there last week.
Then again, the people that live in Killarney,
You don't want to live further away with less people.
because Galen and I taught at a school that was for people that lived in Killarney, and I would say for that area, most no, would you say most families knew at least one person that was stabbed at our previous
Yeah,
school?
what one was that? Killarney used to
Yeah,
be super
well,
scary. I think
It's not a scary, it's a suburban nice place to live, but closer to Bow Trail,
Just a few
it's
blocks
nice
away
as
from
well.
us.
It's also very nice, but there was for a while some kind of I don't want to say gang problems because I think that romanticizes it. But there's some troubles with teenagers sticking knives in each other for
I
a
know,
while.
but when was that?
6 years ago.
Yeah,
Oh.
and then you have students bringing in shivs.
One of those students was going to stab Galen one day.
Did they live in Killarney Glen Court? Because they're
No,
No, they live in.
no,
No.
we are not discussing demographics in that way tonight
Yeah.
or
It
ever.
doesn't really matter actually.
Killarney Glen Court is a super sweet place to live, but
because there's quite a few townhouses. Oh, they lots of them are sold this week, but that's okay.
It's funny though because it can change in a walk, right?
Is
It
Detroit
can.
considered
It's
east?
becoming infiltrated.
it's not Detroit in Calgary.
Is Detroit considered
But it's
east?
like that in any city. You could go like.
What do you mean?
blocks and it's totally different.
Detroit East?
America?
I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
Detroit's
find
in
a
the
place
east.
That's not 100%
Oh,
the
you find a
suburbs.
place here?
If that's
But-
Yeah, I used to get Detroit TV when we had
My
satellite
kid
at
is
the
gonna
Continental the
live for a
first time.
fairly long time, I think.
And they used to list off stabbings every night on the news the way we list off
so they need
fender
to be able to
benders.
take transit eventually to university or St. or wherever.
Kingsland.
It is. Killarney's still more affordable
I didn't
than
like
anything south.
You know, there was somebody who was stabbed to death in our back alley by our dumpster here at
Can
the
you
Rumble
stop
House.
talking about that stuff, man?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
So yeah,
that could happen anywhere,
Yeah,
even
it
somewhere
could
as
happen
nice as the
anywhere.
Rumble House.
Yeah. I mean,
What are you laughing at?
I just had some interesting thoughts when I drove here because I couldn't find parking, so I had to like drive by the building and go around. And
We'll walk you up to your
just
car.
looking at the building.
Well, the guy that got stabbed probably was involved in the drug trade, so it's like, don't sell drugs, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah, there's always a reason why.
I mean, nobody stabbed Alox, right?
Alex is fine.
Because I have weapons on me at all times.
You do not.
I do. You want to see it?
Jeez Louise.
Let's see.
No.
See what you got. What you packing?
They're kind of what?
We're live.
They were when I was there. We all used to
Depends
work
on where you
around there.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Now that you said that, I'm wondering if I
I
do.
worked at and my boyfriend worked
What
at.
can I get arrested for walking down the street?
We had a friend that worked there. We just all did that. Like my sister
I could
worked
defend them with
at
the
the
Q-tip.
bar or the pub in Woodbine.
You could disarm them with your smile.
Oh.
Receipt.
But it's not as easy to get on the train.
And I
Again,
really
I'm not
don't
sure
know
how
why
sensitive
I
the
got, like, we
speaker
always
is
were
here.
like that.
This microphone.
It'll take me like 10 minutes to get that out of my way.
Like a jackknife?
No, like, I think when I was like 30 something, I treated myself to this knife because I was like, I'm gonna buy a knife.
No.
Do you have any idea what it'd be like to stick a knife in a human being?
Yeah.
Again, 3 people said in this room.
I don't think most people could do it.
This
I
I
one,
did.
threw a knife at my sister and it hit her in the eyeball.
But like a
But it
butter
was a
knife.
butter
Oh,
But I still threw it at her and
How's
it still
her eye
hit her in the
now?
eyeball.
How is her eye now?
It's fine.
Much better
A
now.
lot of trouble. though.
I had a girlfriend whose uncle was at the table and he was the peacemaker of the family, and the brothers were all fighting, and he got fed up and he slammed his fist on the table and said, "Enough!" And when he slammed his fist on the table, a fork flew up and hit his other brother in the eye,
Oh God.
and he lost the eye.
Really?
Yeah, and the stories
Funny
about how,
game.
like, guess who had to go out and match his eye patch to the fedora on grad night, and like just the stories of having to make amends for this moment where he slammed his fist on the table and said, "Everybody needs to stop fighting now."
Freaky fork story.
yeah, it's like his anger.
No, he was the nice one. He was like, "Guys, stop fighting." It's the kind of thing Felix would do.
My sister and I fought
That's
a
weird.
lot. Violently.
Really?
Yeah, but we also slept in the same room until we were like
You guys
really
are,
old.
Oh, you might be. You might be. Do you remember those pens that look like pencils?
Yep.
Yeah, my brothers threw one of those and it went through my jeans seam and stuck into my leg.
Everybody's got that pencil dot from one of their siblings.
Oh, I have the pencil dot from me in my hand.
It's not the same.
No, it's not.
Being tattooed by a sibling in rage is totally different.
Yeah.
It's true.
My sister stabbed a pencil through my shoe into my
deserved
foot.
it.
Every time I see the dot, I remember how much.
Should
I
I see?
stabbed my sister in the arm with a bamboo skewer and it stuck in the back of my throat because she
What?
had cut my arms off. We were playing sword fighting with
You
bamboo
guys are
skewers.
so
We
scary.
were unsupervised. I love you, Mom.
We
and
used to play
she cut my
dodgeball.
arms off, so I put it in my mouth and I stabbed her in the arm by accident.
How is it
and
that you have
got
arms if she
stuck.
cut your arms
In
off?
your-
I'm-
Because
In
I
your
make
throat?
believe we were making
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Make believe.
We were make believing.
So what
we
did
did
you
that.
say after that?
Boys
That-
are
Oh,
different.
yeah.
Boys are different because what happens with boys, and this is 100% consistent, is you
You
cut your friend's arms off, and then they go, "No, you missed," and then they cut your arms off, and it never makes to fruition. You never have to stop using the arms because you use your arms to debate who cut the other guy's arms
Oh,
off
no,
last.
We
Like,
followed the rules. It was clearly my arms were gone.
That's why you used
are we back to Monty
That's
Python?
why you use this.
Well, at least you don't have boring conversations.
Who, me?
All of you.
Any of us, yeah.
No, we were supervised. Just occasionally, my mom worked Saturday mornings, and we were left to watch cartoons. And cartoons
What cartoons
were
did you
over.
enjoy on those Saturday mornings?
The Smurfs, followed by Les Schtroumpfs, because it was on in French.
Oh, that's where you learned all that violence. The Smurfs.
Yep. And then after that, it was kind of done. Like,
Did you say was that Pepe Le Pew?
no, Les Schtroumpfs is the Smurfs in French.
Oh, okay.
that we didn't have TV though. We only had like the 2 channels, so
Yeah.
they ran out pretty quick. And my mom works on noon, and
What,
cartoons are usually done at about 10:30. So we
What
had
place
to-
was this again?
That was by Grand Prairie.
What do you
Okay.
think so far? Lazy?
A little bit.
It's
No,
hard to draw.
I'm just kidding.
It's
It's,
hard to
beautiful.
draw. How's it look?
It's beautiful. Most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Drawing.
Hey, grab your paintings out of the windows, by the way. BTW.
Are you gonna put them in for sale again?
Do you want me to?
Well, yeah, I don't have any others.
What do you got there, Darce?
What do I got?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I don't mean to seem
Oh, that's
surprised.
really
What are you working on that with? Markers.
That's what,
it's really nice.
Your ankle?
I don't know what that was. Part of me. I'm used to it making noises.
Oh boy.
I thought you guys were getting fresh with each other for a second. I was like, what is happening?
No.
Dude, is that your ankle? Are you rubbing my ankle with your ankle?
No, it's making noises.
No, I figured that out. That's why I commented. Before, I was just sitting
It
here
was groaning.
kind of in horror.
Here.
Oh, thank you.
What's
Do
that
50
other park like?
and
I don't even know where it is.
Oh,
25.
Rutland Park? Okay. Right by Mount Royal.
Okay.
Here. One more then?
No, that might not be bad.
Yeah, right?
The Mount Royal area isn't too bad.
Nope.
Really?
You don't want to live in Mount Royal.
If you're worried about haunted.
It's expensive.
Oh, no.
Oh.
The Mount Royal University.
That's not good. That's
Oh.
not good for the bus. That's the worst bus area in the city.
Really?
Well, they're gonna fix
Oh
it.
yeah, you might be right.
It's like the 72, and that's it. That's not true. There's a ton of buses that go out there, but like you do not want to take the bus from there. If your young one is going to be
Maybe
taking
they
the
should
bus,
Figure
please
out how
Oh,
to drive.
man.
no, please put your home near the train line.
I saw a commercial on Muppets.
Just start with a map. Listen, most people don't even think of this. Most people try and avoid the train because of the traffic, the walking traffic. But if
No,
there's any
I'm just
chance,
trying to find something.
just basically draw a bubble around the train lines and pick anywhere in the city. You could be in the farthest end of the city. If you're near the train line, zip you're in, right? But yeah, like if you go to Southland or something, the rent is half as much near the train line as it is walking distance away. What?
What's the area south of
Southwood.
No.
What are we talking about?
Is it?
Yeah, I wanted to say Southland, but it's actually Southland Drive in Southwood. I went to school there, and yeah, like the
Oh, right south is Haysboro. Haysboro's
Oh,
expensive.
that's
please
Don't
get
wanna rent,
something
though, I want to buy.
near the train line.
I'm going to.
And also, did bike paths matter?
No. You kidding?
Right. forgot about that. Your children also don't ride bikes.
No. They don't.
Are they
I don't even know if they have bikes.
anti-bike the way you are?
I'm not anti-bike.
A little bit.
I had one as an
And
adult.
Uncle
I had
Car?
a few. I just did never
Did you ride
used
them?
them. No, I didn't. So I got rid of them. I sold them. I had a very expensive cruiser that I rode twice.
You like losing this argument on your own. if we're disagreeing,
I don't think we are disagreeing.
what I'm saying though is I apologize because I forgot that you don't like bikes.
Oh,
I think.
but I don't like them. Southland's expensive too. Anything south is expensive unless I go to Braeside.
What's your budget?
I need to stay under $325 to buy.
Do you have any paper towels?
I was going to suggest Millrise or Evergreen.
Big.
That's by
Why?
a walking
I
distance.
was gonna say, let's throw this over.
No.
No.
Those are really expensive.
Yeah, but we're out of paper towel.
It's too stubborn.
Are you talking about the bathroom?
No.
No,
I don't want to be that far in the suburbs. I think Killarney's the way to go.
Glendale.
Can you never give my expensive?
Glenmorgan.
Okay.
So maybe not drink with that.
Those are in that drawer to
For a
keep
reason?
because they're for me. Yeah, because I need them when I'm using oil
Oh, sugar.
to not burn
Sorry.
down the gallery.
I apologize.
No, you give my stuff away.
No, I apologize for
This is
pushing
my
the
boundary.
table too.
Those are special.
Fine.
Like
Okay.
Carney, Glenbook, those are very important.
Look, Killarney.
For one?
What's Elmhurst like?
Expensive.
Really?
Those Killarney places are really.
It's right by Kensington.
Why do I want to paint it?
What about Dalhousie?
Dalhousie's too far out.
Not if it's on. Not if it's right next to the train line.
You could walk
If you're 10 feet away from the train line anywhere in the city, you're sitting anywhere you need to go.
That's true.
And then the other thing to consider is there's a red line and a green and a blue line. So like you might think you're on the train line and have to get up and transfer trains to get where you're going. So where would your young one be traveling to? Because that really matters.
I don't know.
If you live in Killarney and you need to go to Marlborough, it's a zip, right? If you're in Killarney and you need to get to the U of C, it's a zip to the train, walk a block, and then take another train. And that's a grind. That turns a 20-minute jaunt into an hour and a half jaunt, right? Because you're getting off waiting. It's brutal. So if it's University or State, you want to be on I forget which line it is, the red line, the one that goes north-south. So that means anywhere in the city that you find a spot that's within walking distance of that train is easy to get to U of C, then
MacGyver's watching us so intently.
Yeah.
Sandra's cat is just like sitting watching the
That's
TV.
sorry, I'm just a
Bye,
little too
MacGyver
passionate about
fluffy pants.
transit that I should shut up and let you pick where you want to live, but I care
No,
I
I'm just
care
trying
too much.
I also realize I don't know if my lovely child will decide to go to university.
Can you pass me
I hope
What?
the there's a over there.
Yeah.
I saw it was there. There's a palette knife.
Yeah.
It's not a palette knife. It's a
Actual knife.
260.
the thing with the stuff.
Thing.
I'm not opposed to condo, but
Like,
I would
oh,
like there
paper?
to be
Yeah, that's the one.
enough space for both of my children. It's just challenging.
Wait, you're buying a house?
Not a condo. Am I buying a house?
You know the thing about a condo
She's been looking
is
for-
you're just at the. Oh, you should have bought Colin's house.
I will not be able to buy a house. I would like to
No,
buy a townhouse.
no, because no,
Sorry.
because she needs 2 bedrooms. Colin, they're too small.
Oh, that was too small.
Yeah.
This thing must have gold paint or something. $825,000 for
Where
it.
is it?
It's in Dalhousie and it's 1,400 square feet. It's like 400 square feet less than mine.
It's about the neighborhood, James.
Just have my house shipped there and buy a little land and try to sell my house and sell it for twice as much.
That's weird
825,000.
though.
Galen does live in a very
Oh,
nice
It's
neighborhood.
because there's purple clouds.
You can only see purple and
It's
pretty pink
rainbows.
clouds there.
Sunshine.
Happy land.
Holy mackerel. I mean, if they sell it for that, that's good for them. But
I'll figure it out. I'm in no rush. I will wait.
I think it would help to
I should
know
buy my old house.
who's going to live with you and where they're
Loved it.
traveling to.
But I won't know that because they're taking a year off. So there's no knowing what will happen. Like I know Ash will live with me, but I don't know in a year where they're gonna be doing. Right?
Mhm.
And I would like space for Tice to come home, but he's never gonna live with me full time ever again. I know that. But if I have space for him, maybe.
Kevin.
Is that Kevin's?
Yeah.
Nice work. Is he going to sleep? Is he staying up?
Kevin, that's beautiful work.
Federation.
Sorry. I
Oh,
didn't
that's
mean to-
actually you know where's nice? Oh, I don't know about houses, sorry. Actually, have you thought about where were we looking over by our storage?
Mount Pleasant.
We used to live in Mount Pleasant when Tice was born.
There's storage. It's across the street.
You remember that? No,
Inglewood?
we're looking for the storage space and we got sidetracked into some community.
Ramsey.
Was that Ramsey?
Yeah.
Ramsey's expensive.
Yeah, but it's so beautiful. I remember one time I was
Well, this was
looking,
kind of like
you
Hidden
could rent a
Ramsey.
whole house for $1,500 a month, like a whole house in Ramsey for $1,500 a month. I could.
Oh,
What?
you should talk to Mark
Oh, that's interesting.
Vasquez.
His house is in Bridgeland.
Yeah.
He's living in Mexico right now, but I don't.
Did you never go to one of Mark's backyard parties?
He leased it to.
And he has yeah, but I wonder what's happening with that because he has like a studio space and then like kind of a grandmother suite and just all stuff that he built himself. It's really phenomenal.
It is really.
He should. We'll find out what from because we would have lived there for sure when he left if we didn't need to keep an eye out for Rumble.
Real estate is very expensive right now, Galen. You could sell your house
Sell my
and
house?
retire. You could. I know people that are considering it.
Or just like move into a
I'm on realtor.ca like 3 times a day.
Said not
trying
going
to
to just
research.
That's really great, Kevin.
In Cedar Break? Oh,
Mount Pleasant.
I know people that live in Miniford though, and they're seriously considering it because the value of their houses.
So there's Mount Pleasant that used to be like a
We did
landfill.
2 moons in.
Mount Pleasant. Isn't that by State?
Yeah, it's north of state.
Yeah, that's
I
where I
think
had
that's
my
what's-
first apartment, and it's pretty nice there.
Mount Pleasant,
It is.
Regina is an old landfill.
Wasn't particularly expensive.
No, it wasn't, but it is now
What?
because it's all full of
Sorry, what?
infills.
They called it Mount Pleasant. That's so funny and
Yeah.
ironic.
Infills aren't necessarily a bad thing.
No.
I was conditioned to believe that infills were bad.
What's an infil?
They take down an old house and they put in 2 new houses,
Oh,
but they're good for urban density.
They are. They just.
And depending on the
Design
design
neighborhoods and-
of them, what I find strange though is like how when they do infills, how do they end up with the proper street numbers again? Like, do you have like 15A and 15B, or
Yeah,
that's weird?
yeah.
Also, sometimes the numbers go up by 4, so it's almost kind of like built in. Because like on my block, it's like, it's not like up by 1.
Well, they knew
it's
better
up-
when they built your block.
Oh, maybe. Because it's like up by 4 on each side. It's not up by 2. It's like, it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like up by 4 each one, which is weird. Are you considering selling everything?
This is what I do for fun, Galen.
Oh.
When I get stressed
At
out, I
one
look at
time,
houses.
we were thinking of
Then I
moving and
get
selling
more
our house and getting a smaller one.
Yeah.
They built a highway.
It was like everything we looked at that was half the size of our house was 100,000 more than our house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, does that make any sense?
No.
Seen our house. Right?
Nothing makes sense.
We were looking at places across from the hospital, you know, places where you probably wouldn't want to live because of the sound.
Yeah.
And they were still 100,000 more than my house. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, life's expensive right now.
If you wait long enough, they could sell you my house.
I don't think I can afford
It's
the
not
house.
going to be under
Galen.
300,000 now.
No.
That's their way of taxing us more.
I do think about that first house we bought in Calgary. How cheap it was. It was in Acadia and it was fabulous. And it was like $220 and we were like, if we could only afford it to stay. But we were flipping houses and we couldn't.
My mom and dad, when they first got married, like 40 years ago, 45 years ago, bought a house on 19th Street for like right kind of by Northmount Drive, by the big park, by the Olympic Park.
I think my parents paid for $30,000 when we moved to
Yeah,
Calgary.
I was gonna say like
Yeah,
20 or
That's what my
$30,000.
parents paid for their house. But they're in Eagle Sham.
And then they give you this like, how come you don't have a home crap? I'm like,
And it's
because my car costs as much as your home now. Thanks.
well, and when
Well,
you look
not
at
our
the
car, but-
comparison of what your income is compared to what the house prices is, it's that you can't even compare the two. Like house prices have gone up astronomically compared to income.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
It's not the
I haven't
same.
gone up at all.
No, it's not the same.
Nothing is connected
I'm actually impressed that I still have a house.
in the grand scheme of things.
When was that?
It's still on.
Oh, well, will it be on this weekend?
It's up till April 1st.
Hold on.
At the Osborne, Roberto's.
I've only been there one time.
But you still remember how to get there.
Well, I put it in my map.
Okay, good.
My map will tell me
I'd
how to
love
get
to
there.
see it.
Okay, I will go check it out for sure. Why didn't I go? Something was happening.
Probably sick and dying.
No, I don't do that.
Okay. Not professional.
No, I don't do that.
I know some people who do that professional. How's it
No.
going, Darcy?
Very well, thank you, sir. Good to see you.
You were looking, do you need a refill on your
I
coffee there,
wanted to
Mr.
talk to
Tabor?
you something about our chat the other day. That was really
Is
good.
there?
No.
There was
Yeah,
Talked to
yeah.
you about
And actually,
it.
would I be able to get
Teacher
one?
Caroline, she wants to come see the show. So, yeah, because I told her about it.
We'll start
Do you need
putting
a
on
fresh?
the next
bag?
Upstairs and
You're not
downstairs.
ready.
I was downstairs with very
Lackey tobacco.
separate.
Secret, it is totally. Very much so. And the best conversation. It's so incredible.
Yeah. Just the feeling, man, the feeling about it.
It's quite insane because like during the openings, like I would always go down with people, various people, right? And then end up I spent most of the night down there because we didn't just end up with these crazy conversations. Like and shit it's like anything else? How's it going?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I put that stuff up on the page, the discussion page already.
Oh, nice. So it's
You can
the
become obsessed now.
the
Bear bear, the green one with the chest.
nice,
His name is Felix, actually.
cute. I saw that. Very cute.
It's affordable.
Yes.
You know where else is surprisingly
Huntington
affordable?
Hills.
Canyon Meadows.
That's far.
If we're going south, Canyon Meadows is and close to the train.
It's got a curling rink.
I hated Canyon Meadows.
You hate it, did you say?
Yeah.
I don't love it.
Coach Hill.
That feels way more suburban than I would like.
Coach Hill's on this list.
I grew up in Canyon Meadows.
Renfrew.
I got so sick of Elbow Drive.
Evanston. Where is that? Oh, it's near Evanston Park.
Evanston's up in the north.
I was close to you, Rich. I grew up in Lake Bonne Vista.
Isn't Evanston by
Did you?
St. Mike's?
Yeah.
Did
No,
you
I
just go to
think-
Trendy Sev?
I think.
Did I see what?
Trendy Sev?
I think it's up in the
No.
north by Notre Dame.
Did you know about Trendy Sev?
No, I went to a special school. I went to Calgary Academy.
I know.
Yeah.
We used to go to Brayside Sev because Trendy Sev was for kind of rich kids. And then they had 7-Eleven police to come and kick us out.
7-Eleven, please.
7-Eleven police. Where's Darcy? He would probably remember the 7-Eleven police. Basically, like all the things you could do with your time back then was to loiter around the 7-Elevens. And there might be a house party if somebody's parents went out of town. But when the house party got busted, everybody would just end up at the 7-Elevens anyways. And there'd be fights and romance and drama.
Hence the 7-Eleven cops.
Yeah. They weren't safe. Like, it wasn't a safe place to hang out. Where in Bonavista Vista did you live, Kelly?
Lake Crimson Close.
So you were lake people.
Kinda. Didn't really go to the lake that often.
Wasn't that the whole point of living there?
Yeah.
Here's one. Just a mirror.
I remember tobogganing down the wrong side of the hill.
We used to climb over the fence at the top end of the Canyon Meadows golf course. And we didn't so much toboggan as we would make garbage bag suits that we could body slide down the hill. And we'd be climbing up and down the hill, body sliding. And then from the farthest end of the golf course, you'd see these two black dots coming. And it was the Rottweilers. So you basically had a couple good runs in before the owners set the Rottweilers on you. and then you just have to get up the hill faster than the Rottweilers.
Or something like that.
Oh,
I think we stopped going to the lake and actually we started tobogganing where Bull Bottom is.
pretty small.
Just like
Further
And then
away.
we stopped because my brother hit the manhole cover with the toboggan.
Isn't that 2 different seasons? You would have gone to the lake in the summer and the manhole or the tobogganing in the winter.
No, we went tobogganing at the lake as well. But we actually went underneath the tennis
You
court.
started to get on your skates today.
Me? No,
Yeah. Didn't you put up a picture of your skates? And
that's from 4 years ago. I said I should go skating again.
right, those skates look well worn.
Well,
I still have them. I still wear them. They're my original skates from when I was a kid.
I can see that.
I love those skates. I don't like the new ones because they're too molded to your ankle.
The ones you have look like they're pretty molded to your ankle.
Well, those are leather.
To Kelly's ankle.
Joanne Martin
and Kelly
says
alone.
hello.
Hi, Mommy. I'm telling stories about you. I love you.
Bermuda Drive.
That's lucky.
Buy it and it disappears.
Do you remember how scary the Bermuda Triangle was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Talked about it
It
so
was
much.
such a big deal on
Until they figured
yeah.
out what was causing it.
I remember when Parkland was just a field.
like a park,
Yeah, it was just dirt. It was like whatever.
like a landfill of park.
Yeah, it was a landfill.
It's a release of like propane gas and it bubbles ocean, and then when you bubble the ocean, ships just go.
How much time's left there?
It's
Jessica?
active, Galen.
Sorry.
What's happening?
Science.
Humans just ruined the Bermuda Triangle.
It's still magic because
You could be killed at any minute.
Science and magic are not different. And to tell you the truth, science and magic and religion are all pretty similar. So this blew my mind, and I looked it up to see if it was true, because I'm always teaching the kids about the Fibonacci and how it's the way that the trees grow, and it's the way that you use the Fibonacci in art all the time, the golden ratio. Well, the angle I read about the golden ratio works out to 108, which turns out to be a pretty magic number, 108, which also turns out to be,
how old I feel.
and I'm going to say this wrong, but the Earth is 108 times bigger than the Moon,
Oh yeah, the ratio.
and the Moon is 108 Earths. The Moon is 108th the size of the Earth. The Moon is 108 moons away from the Earth. And the Sun is 108 times the size of the Earth, and it's 108 Earths away from the Sun. And that's why when you look at the Sun and the Moon, you see an eclipse. The Moon lines up perfectly with the Sun.
Exactly the right size.
Yeah,
So creepy.
But not only is it exactly the right size, there are 108 ratios between the Sun, the Moon, and the Earth, and there's
I'm gonna send
108
you something
differences.
on planets that's super depressing.
It's the same. It's the right size, the right distance away. It's in the right orbit.
Yeah, and with our solar system, they can attach sounds to the planets as they go around the sun, and it makes a symphony. And because of that symphony, we have an understanding that our solar system is stable enough for life. And so when they see other solar systems, they attach sounds to the planets in those solar systems. And if they make music, they imagine that solar system might be stable enough for life. And that's one of the ways they predict whether life could be stable in a different. But the symphony is pretty wonderful to hear. If you haven't heard such a thing yet.
Oh, the traditional Malapur beats have 108 beats. That
No,
must be related.
Don't start looking up 108 because you will lose your mind.
Sandra, don't go down the.
There's 108. Just Google 108 and see what comes up. You'll have you'll have to make some therapy appointments. Like 108 is like there's a code word to get into heaven. It's going to be 3.1416 or 1 to 1.6 ratio or 108. These are the options.
For me?
it because I know you'll touch this. Then you leave it here or you take it as is. If you finish it next Wednesday, if I come in, I'm going to go by Miller. Sorry.
I'll leave it for you to finish
Hit
because
this.
I'd like you to. Yeah, this is price. I want it. It's my son that likes all these.
Okay, good.
I bought those for my son. He's
That's
studying
almost 9
marine
o'clock.
biology.
How close to 9 o'clock is it?
He's diving and everything.
8:36. Don't make me do math. It's too late.
8:36.
See one?
We'll turn off
So I'm
the
not taking a picture.
thingy in 15 minutes. No, 5 minutes.
Got a bunch of-
Look how perfect. My paint water turned into perfect moon color.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Paint water moon color.
I bet it's perfect.
This building exploded into the sky.
Guy in
Maybe I
the
use just one to do some windows.
hiding
Oh.
in the hole there.
I know.
Got
Good.
Gosh.
Good to see you, Rich. Josh.
Good to see you. Take care,
Are
Darcy.
you putting that piece in and you're gonna keep it
When you hear it again.
every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday.
Where
Thursdays.
where do you live these days?
Just down the street on 836 Fifth Ave. It's a high-rise apartment.
Okay.
On the 12th floor.
Are you still hanging around the
Yeah.
storage space?
I am. Yeah. Storm Go is awesome.
Yeah.
Really helpful and really kind.
They're very kind.
So are you leaving that piece or taking it, Darce?
I'm gonna leave it here.
Let me see it.
I think he talked to Galen.
Why don't you take it home? Keep the canvas, bring it back next week.
Good.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, we're, that's good because.
Darcy, I love you. It's nice to see you.
Thanks, man. I love you. Both of you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your help and being here still for 515 times.
Good to see you, Darcy. My brother's got a couple of your paintings that he talks about the whole time.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Good. I think that's a good karma thing too, right? So, you're painting these things and you see this.
That was one of the first ones I bought from you.
The other way usually.
Sitting right in the middle of my son's room.
Okay.
Centerpiece of his room.
Yeah, I always, this is a new, this is, next time I'll show you that, I'll bring a sculpture.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
It's really, really cool, and I'll have it all done by then.
You want a bag for that?
Ciao.
Yeah.
Take care.
Have a good night.
It was just weird to me, man. Good to see you too, man. So when you get
Oh, yeah, of course. Dude, all the friends come.
and then we can go break his kneecaps.
See?
I do more here than I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best one I ever had was playing badminton. And I had done something to my leg and it was knee stiff. And I'd been playing, but I couldn't really bend my leg completely. And then I went for a lunge and it tore. And my son could hear it. It sounded like fabric going. And it felt so good afterwards. It hurt for like just a second. And then something tore and gave away. And it was like totally flexible and fixed, just like in the movies. I was like, whoa, I can bend it now. He said it was so nice. I said, what was that? I said, that was my leg.
Wait,
Like, oh,
tell that story again.
Huh?
Tell that story again.
My leg had been stiff for a while.
How old were you?
Kai was in junior high, grade 7. Maybe? So how old would that make me? I don't know.
How old are you now?
40 something, 49, 50.
Okay. How old are you is relevant to this story because I want to tell you something in a second.
Probably in my late 40s.
Okay.
So it had stiff enough. I had done something to it. I don't know what. Probably wrestling or something. I don't know. Anyhow, it was stiff. And so I was playing badminton with Kai at a rec center. And I went for a lunge and you heard this big tearing sound, like fabric tearing. That was my muscle. And he said it hurt for a second. And then after it tore, it was like totally loosey-goosey and felt really good after that. But the funny part was Kai was standing like
Hello.
10 feet away. You could hear it.
Hi. Who am I talking to?
He thought I'd ripped my pants. I said,
No, just my muscles.
that was my
Just
leg."
my body.
So here's a horrible story, and I should not tell this online.
Great. Tell it.
And I want to start
Here we
by
go.
it's like what's the date today?
The 15th of March.
Beware.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah, it's March.
7.5 months sober, and I don't know why I thought this was a good idea, but I did this thing. I was pretty drunk. Okay, middle of the day in the summertime,
No
and
balls on.
it was a bad idea. And I decided to take Felix roller skating.
This is already going. Did you go to the skate park?
Ish. We went to the just across the street where the memorial space is. There's a really neat area. Now he's skating and I'm skating, so I'm not really. It's not like drinking and driving. I'm online. But is it legal to go roller skating drunk with your kid? I don't know. Would like a social services coming to get me?
I don't think so.
Okay. So
I mean, you could get in
Have you
trouble
got
for
a
being
license for those?
intoxicated in a public space.
Yeah, like if you were being a
if you're being
hooligan.
okay,
unruly,
no,
but I
that
don't
wasn't
think
that
you're
wasn't a
putting
problem at
anybody
all.
in
Nobody
harm.
would have known I was drunk.
And he's not a toddler attached to you.
No,
He's
no, he was a
his
kid on his own
separate
roller
wheels.
skates.
Yeah, no.
So we went to the spot just over there that where the memorial thing is, and it's kind of on an incline. And I think for some reason we're doing like Will o' the Whip, which is like roller derby. I'm holding his hand, and then he started rolling out of control, and I roller skated up to him and caught him by hand, and kind of we did Will o' the Whip to slow him down. But because I was plastered, I fell. Or did he fall? He fell. And because I was holding his hand, I rightened him back to his feet. And he didn't crash because it turned out all I really remember is I'd saved him from falling, but ended up tumbling down with him and protecting him with my body. And I remember thinking, wow, that turned out really well, but it could have gone really badly because we weren't together roller skating, but he ran into trouble where he was losing control. I caught him, tumbled underneath him rather than over top of him, saved him, but like tore my arm. And it's this arm here that had the bicep torn off and then reattached. I don't know if you can see that on camera. And what had happened was, A, I was like kind of impressed with myself. It's like, wow, I nailed that. B, I was like, should I have been drunk roller skating with my son? C, I was like, if I hadn't landed that perfectly, I could have crushed him. But I saved him from like a tiny bump by risking him to a huge bump. Came out perfectly. And the other thing that had happened was this, you were just saying this, is I tore this bicep off. They fixed it. I had to keep it still for 4 months. And they said if I sneezed, it would come apart. And then around 48, it just started getting stiff one day. And it got stiffer every day for about 6 months to the point where I thought, I'm not going to be able to use this arm anymore. And I remember I went down hard, dislocated the shoulder. I was laying on the ground going, oh, shit, I'm drunk. And that's my 10-year-old. And I'm going to have to pop this shoulder back in. And I didn't need to like bang. I just went and it popped back in. And I got up and I had full mobility back. And I'm like,
Oh, the story makes me want to throw up.
this is the problem when you reward bad behavior. That by getting plastered, taking my son roller skating, saving him from a tiny bump by risking landing on him, tumbling on the ground, dislocating my shoulder, and I kind of liked how it felt when it popped back in. It went from like, I was on the ground, I was like, am I okay? Kid's okay. I was like, oh, and I got up and I was like,
Amazing.
that's weird because I'd almost lost that arm. Like, and it's my drawing arm, but it kind of went from like, oh, this feels a little stiff to like, I don't know if I'm going to still have use of this arm. And I couldn't sleep at night on this arm. It was like, I'd sort of sleep on that side and the arm was like, and I don't know what I did, but I fixed whatever was wrong by dislocating it while I was drunk roller skating. We only have 7 viewers left, so clearly a few people have given up on me.
It's fine.
And I never did that again.
Those are the diehard roller skaters.
Yeah, they're like, how dare you?
How dare ye?
Was it the 4-wheel roller skates or the?
Yeah, I wore the minor disco, fully on disco.
Oh, and then I saw them in the box after that.
Yeah. Actually, the first week we had them, Jess fell hard on her wrists and smashed them.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we bought all the gear. And she didn't feel like putting the gear on. And then we were skating here, and we figured since we're inside, maybe just didn't need her gear on. And I remember Felix was just so fastidious about things. Like one time we got in the elevator. This guy gets in the elevator with his kid. Kid's like a year younger than Felix. Felix is like 4. The kid's like 3. And I can see his lips moving. And I'm like, don't say it. We're going down. His lips move. He's like, don't say it. And finally, just the door opens. And as they're stepping out, Felix is like, he needs a helmet. Because this kid didn't have a bike helmet, right?
Yeah.
And so Felix is so fastidious about his safety gear. He told Jess to put her wrist guards on while she's like, I don't need them. She did a little spin, fell down hard. She's like, I can't get up. I'm like, that's not funny. She's like, I can't get up. I'm like, okay. So in this order, I took Felix out of his skates, put him in the car, came back to her, scooped her up, carried her to the car, drove Felix home, drove her to the hospital. We spent the next 8 hours while they reset her wrist. But you got to imagine, like, she goes down hard. Felix like, is she okay? I'm like, sit down over there quick. And so I'm taking the skates off. There's like, is she okay? I'm like, it's going to be fine. And then we put him in the car. It's like, I'm going home. It's like, yeah, you're going home like day early on the weekend. It's like, he's just sitting there. I start the engine. He's like, car starts to move. We roll 3. He's like, Jess, should have wore your wrist guards.
I just started laughing.
And he knew that he knew not to say it because it was too late. But I was just like,
his face trying to not say it. But how do you keep in that I told you so? That's a big one.
That's a big one.
That's a big I told you so.
I just laughed. I was like, I should have.
it's a running gag in our family and has been for years.
See, what would you laugh about if not me?
It's been a long day.
Well, his story is pretty interesting too.
But I was the same age as you. And for some reason, falling down on that limb restored my mobility. And I could have spent a year in rehab or just been like the worst dad in the world and drunk roller skated with my kid.
Not put me in there.
Well, there's 10 people with us now that I stopped telling that story, so that's good.
So let's tell people at home. We are Oh, Chelsea, I totally forgot it was Wednesday and that we were putting artwork up on the event page.
Oh, so did I.
So you know what we're gonna do?
I didn't put anything up.
No, I forgot completely. Like I've just been painting and having
I
a
didn't
nice
do
time.
my job.
No, honestly.
Okay.
How am I going to get paid twice as much for bringing Rich coffee if I didn't even do my job?
You can have 3
Maybe
times as much
I
as we
get
paid.
free
You can have, yeah. So what we do, people at home, is we're gonna show
Do
you.
people need that page, or is it just something we do?
I think it's comfort.
Right.
Some people do look and are able to text early, but honestly, people here just look us up at 9 o'clock. Our live feed will be up in about 15 minutes.
It might be just a
And-
great night to get a good deal on our.
We're gonna be starting the live feed at 9 o'clock.
It's
And
9 o'clock.
oh shoot,
Well,
it's
that's
10-2. It's 10-2.
And
One
bye-bye.
And
I
bye
was
bye.
shocked. I never forget to do that.
Like I just remembered right now as I
I
was
think my
saying.
brain is done brain.
Good night, everybody.
Did you ever phone
Bye.
just to hear it say